deep dive interviews with music gear inventors, builders, creators, and tone chasers. The Gear Gap podcast with Eric Dahl uncovers the behind the scenes stories of the music gear that inspires us. And now, here's your host, Eric Dahl.
Welcome to the Gear Gab Show. This is our, we've definitely got a tone chaser on the show right now. If you don't know him, he is a guitarist, songwriter, motivational speaker, and also an author, a man of many gifts. I've got Peter Dankelson on the show. Peter, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Eric. It's good to be here.
Well, Peter, we were talking beforehand, before we started the interview, to where I became aware of you when you were living in Chicago. And you had Pete's Diary band then, but now you have made the move to my city, to Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's going pretty well for you here.
Yeah, it's been great. I've been here a little over a month now. Got here in early April. It's mid-May now. Yeah, it's been so much fun. I live not too far from Broadway, so kind of running up and down there, hanging out, sitting in. I haven't done like a full set or anything yet, but just kind of sat in with some bands and just gotten to know a lot of really cool people. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Well, I love seeing the video, Peter, of you playing at JBJ's, at John Bon Jovi's place, and just tearing it up with the band.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a couple of weeks ago with Hand Over Face. They're pretty popular there. Yeah, really great band. Really killer band. Really jammed with them once, but I'm heading back there tonight to sit in with them for a few songs again. So it'll be good to hang with them for a bit again.
You were just everywhere. I wanted to ask a couple questions also for people joining the podcast, Peter. So at what age did you start playing guitar?
So I started at 15 years old, kind of close to the end of my freshman year of high school.
And so what was the motivation? Because you're so fluent now. And part of the reason I started following you was how, number one, how happy you are while you're playing. Number two, you're very skilled and very talented on guitar. And number three, just the pure passion.
Yeah. Well, it really kind of started, it's kind of interesting, like looking back at it. It's, I think a big kind of factor with it was, I just started to naturally listen to a lot bit more rock and roll. Like middle school, I was listening to all the pop stuff that, we all listened to as a class in school and all that. That was fun, but just kind of a big turning point in my life was moving from where I lived in Michigan at the time to Chicago. And I was starting high school and all that too. So lots of big changes were going on in my life at that point. And music, and really, I think it was like I started to just kind of get into a little bit more rock and roll, like AC/DC, ZZ Top. Um, just kind of naturally started to get more interested in that, that style of music. And the guitar jumped out, and just kind of, I think maybe a couple weeks or a month before even, I just kind of had this thought in my head of, the guitar sounds really cool. What if, it was just kind of like it was just kind of that seed just kind of fell into my head. And I'm like, maybe that would be kind of cool. And I asked my dad one night, he finally out of curiosity, like, hey, I think I might want to learn how to play guitar. And he actually, he actually had a guitar and an amp from when he was in high school. So he pulled that out of like the storage and dusted it off.
Wait, what I gotta ask, what kind of guitar and amp was it, Peter?
So the amp is I can't remember the exact model, but it's like this big PV amp. It's kind of like a big single speaker, and I can't remember the exact model. I haven't used it in a long time. That's back home. But the guitar was a Fender Music Master, and I think quite a few years ago, a friend of mine, I think figured out it's from 1978. So it's basically, I don't know, for those that don't know, it's like basically a Stratocaster, but with just one single coil neck pickup.
Right, kind of like an entry level guitar for a lot of people.
Pretty much, yeah. It's funny too. It was my dad's, and a couple of years ago, we were looking through photo albums at my grandparents' house over Christmas, and we found a photo of him with it. So yeah.
Oh, you didn't. Sorry. Well, no, and that was the thing too, Peter. And obviously, you have a lot of charities and everything that you work with. But
Yeah.
the things that's so impressive is, you've overcome so much, in your life, and gone through over 40 surgeries, and
Yeah.
being a positive force of nature.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's definitely been a lot. I guess with the surgeries and all that, for those that may not know, I was born with a rare a craniofacial condition or syndrome called golden heart syndrome. That could affect people in a lot of different ways. There's kind of varying, kind of varies from person to person. But like in my case, missing my left ear. So I have that's what the Barnaker hearing aid score. Um, oh man, there's a lot of other stuff, some stuff with my back, neck, lots of kind of different things going on. But yeah, I think the total number of surgeries is 38. So
38.
getting close to 40.
But I got to bring up also, you've already got some acknowledgments as a patient of courage
Yeah.
and also champion of hope. And then you have your own mantra.
Mhm.
Can you share that with us?
You got to rack your life. Yeah.
Which also, I got to bring up, I mentioned earlier when I introduced you, Peter, about the book that came out also that's available on Amazon that you co-wrote and, talking about rocking your life. And I think, that's where you're such an inspiration for all of us to where, you're not letting any of these challenges hold you back from living your best life and making music.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's really a big thing. Well, the book really had kind of come about. That was really my mom's passion project because really it was kind of interesting. She kind of did that. I don't know exactly what year that would have been. Not, I think like 2020, like late 2020, 2021, maybe. Um, Really, the book came about was, it kind of talked more about the medical story because, like, online at that point, people see the guitar and they jamming and all this stuff, and then I, didn't quite know as much about the medical side of things, so the book was really kind of published to show that side of the story, and of course, later on, there came the music and all that and kind of some of the stuff that was going on, at that time, so yeah, the book was really kind of, told more of the medical side of things in that story.
Well, because, on with your social following and with your music, it's just you're always positive, you're always out there, you're sharing your guitar licks and everything else, and to me, that's what hooked me
Yeah.
about following you and also seeing which guitar you were gonna have on social media
Sure.
that because you got a pretty good collection going,
Yeah, the collection's been, steadily growing. Yeah. It's been big.
which
Yeah.
is never a bad thing as a guitarist. Because
No.
I was going through your entire, list, and we're gonna talk about your signature model in a little bit, but, certainly with your previous bands, with Pete's Diary band, you've been kind of associated before with the Gibson SG guitar.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, I used, like, the lineup for the band that we had before we did the Keep On Rockin' album. I used an SG for, like, every song on the like, all the leads and all that. I used that SG Standard on it's on the album cover too. I used that for, like, all the solos and all the main kind of lead rhythm stuff. That was, like, the soul guitar for all of that. It's killer, and then I did, uh, a year ago, I purchased a, 68. That was a pretty big, purchase, yeah.
What a
Uh,
great guitar. Oh, yeah.
yeah, I just seen AC/DC, like, 2 days prior, and I'm like and Angus was playing I think his is a 71. I think that was kinda confirmed to me by someone, but, the 68 kinda has that same vibe. I think it's more of like a dark cherry. It almost looks walnut in some lights. It's kinda funny. But it's got like the batwing guard and the trunk or the tailpiece and a really skinny neck too.
Oh,
It just sounds great. Yeah. And I'm like, I've been waiting to pull the trigger on it. I'm like, I think I'll just do that now.
well, and that's the thing, not to embarrass you, but there's been comparisons, to you and Angus Young of AC/DC, and certainly, I think that falls true with your choice of amplifiers also, which are predominantly Marshalls.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, Angus is a lot better than I am. He's sold a couple more albums too, and maybe sold out a few more shows.
A couple more, but so far, he got a head start on you, though.
Yeah, I think he's doing all right.
I hope he makes it. It could work out for him. He will.
He's pretty good.
But I mean, but you're doing well. I've got to bring this up. As young as you are, Peter, I mean, you've already have 2 albums out, and now you're looking to put together, you're working on putting together your new band here in Nashville, Tennessee,
Yeah.
working on new original music also.
Yeah.
And so it seems like you're kind of finding your groove here as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great, yeah, kind of restarting back here because last year it was kinda like the original lineup of the band kinda split up in 2024. 2025, it was more like, "Okay, what am I gonna do now?" And it's like, really, the whole Nashville thing kinda came about. think it was like September, the idea was floated to me from my parents, like, "Hey, there's really nothing happening here, in our little town in Illinois, you know, great people, but just not quite the next steps." It's like, well, let's go to Nashville. Like this would definitely be a good change of pace. Great, this is where everybody goes. All these great players and just so many talented people. And I'm like, well, very nervous, taking that jump and going somewhere new. I'm like, well, yeah, okay, let's give it a go. So February, we came down and rented an Airbnb in East Nashville, and just for the whole month, just kind of stayed there and just kind of started exploring around town and all that. And after like a week, I'm like, yeah, I can't go home. Like, yeah, I'm like, there's so much to do here. There's places to play and people to meet and jam with. And yeah, definitely like, guitar shops. I don't live too far from Carter's. I was there yesterday, but just all these places and all these venues and people to
And that's the thing too, is as you're finding out as well, is it's really a music community.
yeah,
I was telling you, Peter, before, when I moved back here in 2011, and it's just I love the music community here
yeah,
with the music stores, with the repair shops, being able to go see friends play, like
yeah,
yourself, and just and as you know, with the Teletown show that was like a
yeah,
couple of weeks ago at the Ryman, and
yeah,
and just all of these different things for creators and creative people like yourself that
yeah.
it's just fun, it's just immersive, and everybody is welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a really cool thing too. Yeah, everybody's been so kind, very welcoming, lots of open doors. Like, hey, if you want to come, like hand over face, like, hey, come jam with us at JBJ's or PJ Ferguson on Tennessee Strange. They're really popular around town here. He's been PJ and the whole band for that matter too have been so gracious with like, hey, come on up and jam with us, and we'll jam some AC/DC. And I've been expanding my Broadway. I have like a set list that I've been starting to learn and go through. So yeah, but yeah,
And that's what's funny too, because I saw that when you did that post, and it's so true for particularly for on Broadway, to where there's certain songs, certain artists and everything else that you really need to know for Broadway, and it's not just for Kruger, is it?
no, no, no. Well, it's kind of cool. There's some places that are a bit more. There's some that are a mixed bag. Like I guess like Kid Rock's bar,
Mm.
is a good mixed bag. Kind of rock mainly, but definitely some country stuff that's in there. And then you have like you have some of these like kind of classic kind of honky tonk places like, well, I guess stage. It gets rocking, but it's definitely more kind of country vibe I've noticed. Tootsie's,
Mhm.
that's kind of more of a rock kind of like.
You're gonna have to go to a Robert's Western World also.
And that was actually recommended to me the other day, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
So,
very
I mean, once again,
yeah.
as I'm sure we're getting here, Peter, a number of incredible guitarists have come out of Roberts. I mean, including, Red Volkart, Daniel Donato, JD Simo, Guthrie Trapp, like the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
So I think you may have to take your signature model or a telly in there.
Yeah, I do have a telly with me. I brought the signature, and I think pretty much everything else is Gibson's, and I'm like, "I gotta have my telly with me as well, that's a must." Yeah.
Well, especially in Nashville.
Oh, for sure, yeah, that's definitely, like, probably the guitar, yeah.
And so have you made it to all the music shops on 8th Row yet?
Not yet.
Because, that's the problem with me, like, sometimes, just you and I talking, I will start at one, and I'll work my way all the way down the street.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That because you've got, as you mentioned, Carter's, you've got Rumble Seat,
Yeah.
got, 8th Avenue Guitar Works that just opened up in February, and then you've got
Yeah, yeah.
then you got Gruhn's.
Mhm. Yeah, I've passed by 8th Avenue. I think we were kind of driving around the other day, but I haven't been in there yet. Yeah, I saw it was kinda down.
You'll have to go, you'll love it. It's a cool vibe in there, but, once again, talking about your music gear, how do you feel, Peter, since you started playing guitar and certainly going into more of the rock vein, how do you feel like your guitars, your pedals, your amps, and everything, how have those changed through this time over the years?
Yeah, I think kind of guitar and amp wise, I'm still pretty much drawn to the same thing that I was kinda drawn, kind of recently. It's still kinda that kind of humbucker, Marshall kind of sound, but like I have like a Firebird. I had to leave that at home. But that had a cool kind of vibe to it, very different kind of sound. And um, Marshalls, I'm still definitely like in love with. Like when we did the Keep on Rockin' album in the studio, there was I can't remember what year, but old JMP, like from the like probably
Oh
from
yeah.
the 70s, yeah. And that amp, I'm like, that is the rock and roll amp. And actually, just a couple weeks ago, there's a great ACDC like national touring ACDC tribute called Thunderstruck,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, and they were just down at the City Winery, which is kind of a short walk away. So they, got invited to come in and jam with them, and Kyle Angus in the band had I think had one or two JMPs set up, and I plugged in and started playing, and I'm just like, I that is the sound. I'm like, that is
The
yeah,
problem is, Peter, it spoils you because after you
yeah,
plug into that stuff, you're like going, "Oh my gosh, that's the sound in my
yeah.
head."
It is. I mean, it still is. I'm like, it's just the right amount of saturation. It was still staying clear. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, that's magic.
There's something about humbucker pickups, as you and I know, and the right Marshall, the right tube amps. It's like, I used to have a redhead plexi, and
Oh,
like man, there was something about that thing. It's like on, and don't get me wrong, it's like, it was not fun hauling around a
yeah.
412 cabinet and a Marshall head,
Yep.
but the sound, Peter, was so good.
I know. Yeah. Yep.
So I got to ask you then, since you moved here to Nashville, I mean, how are you keeping it down for the neighbors so they're not like pounding on the floor going, Peter, keep it down?
Yeah. No, I have like the positive grid, the spark amps.
I love those.
Yeah, I have one in my room, and that's what I've kind of exclusively used here. It works fantastic.
There's the go.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
I've got that I test a lot of guitars and stuff with, and then I've
Yep.
got the mini in my
Yeah, I
bed.
have yep, I have the mini as well, and then I have the 40, or I think it's like the second iteration. I have that here that I've been
Yeah, the
using.
positive grid stuff is
Super.
just awesome.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. They've really and I mean the new one that kinda came out recently,
Yeah.
that's been really great as well. That's really cool. Yeah.
Well, and I want to delve into, we were talking about, the two albums and everything. Your first album that came out in 2022, your second one in 2024.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the artists that you've played with,
Yeah.
and been on stage with. I think, we've got like LA Guns, we've got Jared James Nichols. Name a few of these people.
Yeah. Let's see. So, yeah, LA Guns and Gary James Nichols. Let's see. Quite a few years ago, Buck Cherry, that was really fun. Um, Orianthi,
She's
uh,
incredible.
yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, I've gotten to jam with her a few times now, and yeah, she's such a great player, and she's such a great person as well. Yeah, it's always great
So,
to jam
so
with her.
Peter, who is your dream person to jam or be on stage with now?
That's a tough one. I mean, of course, Angus. I mean, that's like my guy. I mean, just getting to see him live is like more than enough. I mean, that's a master class in and of itself. Slash is a huge inspiration as well. Yeah. I mean, Guns N' Roses like defined my senior year of high school. You know?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Slash, as you and I know too, putting together a Les Paul with Marshalls, it's just
Yeah.
Slash has just such incredible tone.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and it's cool too. I mean, like he did that blues album not last year, I guess 2 years ago now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that was a really cool kind of I don't know if departure. It's like if you know his style, it totally makes sense that he do like a blues style album. But yeah, getting to hear that and kind of all the different guests he had on it and just the collaborations. It was great. That was a really fun record.
It was I got to interview him for the Rock and Review TV show for that, backstage in the vault. And of course it devolved into talking guitars. And so, and besides, his signature model, you know, Gibson Les Pauls and Marshalls and all, he was having Joe Vietti custom build him an acoustic guitar, Peter, to take
Oh
out on
wow.
that blues tour.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
You know how guitarists get together and we start talking guitars,
Oh yeah. No, around here, yeah, it just never stops.
which means you're right at home. You're in the right place.
I know. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, everybody's just kind of geeking out. Yeah.
Well, I've got to ask you this, Peter. Talking about your new signature model guitar pedal, which this is the power drive pedal.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
right here. Um, well, really, it was a collaboration with Soulfire Guitar Works. They're based out of New Jersey. They'd reached out on Instagram quite a while ago, just like, "Hey, we love what you're doing. You know, would you possibly be interested?" I guess I'll talk about the guitar in a minute, but the pedal kind of came about in a cool way. I guess in the fall they had cut they I guess they had a pedal come out called the Dirty Martini.
I remember.
It was basically kind of a transparent type overdrive, and they're like, "Hey, would you mind just kind of, we'll send it to you, test it out, and just make a post about it, help promote it." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So they sent it, and I mean, I was floored because it's like the thing that I noticed about it was, they had it's kind of almost transparent with how it works. It's like it kind of keeps the sound of the amp the same, but it just pushes it in a very natural way, like gain, like a little bit more gain and oomph,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really change the sound of the amp. I mean, obviously, if you like dime it, the dirt, it'll like start to fizz up and you get
Oh,
a bit
yeah.
all crunchy. But like the volume and stuff, it's very natural. Like it still kind of keeps the dynamics and stuff. So that floored me. I'm like, this pedal's awesome. And then they're like, "Well, hey, what if we kind of rebranded this and made it a signature model?" So that's pretty much how that came about. Yeah, Anthony, he's kind of the design and kind of head guy over there. He had kind of sent a couple, design prototypes over, and then yeah, he sent the kind of I think this is the first prototype over, and yeah, plugged in. And I'm like, "This is awesome." And he's like,
It
"Let's."
looks sensational, right?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I use it all the time. Like especially with a plexi, or like I have when I do go out and play, I have, like, the Studio Vintage, the combo.
Uh-huh.
It works so well with the Plexi because you still kinda keep that nice, clean kinda sound. Not clean, but you know what I mean, kind of that
Yeah.
that sound from that amp, but still kinda get a bit more oomph under your fingers, which
It,
I
it
kinda
kind of
like.
gives you that sound like you're pushing tubes, but you don't have to really increase the volume that much, right?
Yeah, exactly. Although I guess with that amp, there's no master volume, so it's kinda pushing all the time. Anyway, I've got.
And I wanted to bring up also when with the you're, with the power drive pedal that, part of the proceeds are also going to a charity, right?
Yeah, yeah, some, I forget how the percentage, but yeah, proceeds from some of the sales of the pedal are going to Guitars for Vets, which is awesome. That was really cool to partner with them. I love what they're doing. Yeah.
I do too. I've been involved with them for a lot of years. I think I told you before we started the interview. And Guitars for Vets has a division here in Nashville
Yep.
where they teach the veterans to play guitar and everything. They get a certificate and then they actually get a guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love what they're doing. It's really cool. I've kind of run into them. I think like even at like the Dallas Guitar Festival last year, they had a booth there, and I'm like, oh hey, just kind of in passing saw them and kind of hung out and chatted for a bit, which is really cool. Yeah.
Well, and I wanted to bring up your signature model guitar.
Yeah.
So did the guitar evolve out of working with Soulfire on the pedal first?
No, the guitar was actually originally the kind of the original concept, the original idea. Yeah. The pedal was kind of a cool thing that popped up later. But yeah, the pedal was a bit easier to kind of uh, put together first.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
strings and parts, you know.
Well,
Uh,
well, how did the guitar come together then?
yeah, like I kind of said earlier, they had reached out on Instagram and said like, hey, we're this guitar company out in New Jersey. We really love what you're doing on here. Would you possibly be interested in doing a signature model? And I'll be honest, at first I was kind of like, I don't really know what I do. Like, I know like people associate me with like the SG, like, there's kind of that kind of loyalty to like, oh, this guy's just selling us something now. And it was kind of like, well, so I thought about it. And I'm like, well, I had this cool idea that you just don't see that often. It was like, uh, I had, I love my SGs, but then I just gotten this Epiphone Firebird a little while prior. And I love, like, I'm a huge Johnny Winter fan and that neck
Oh,
pickup sound and all that. So I'm kind of like, well, what if there really aren't that many guitars. It's been done before, but it's not that common where you have, a humbucker in the bridge and then a Firebird pickup in the neck. So like, oh, this might be really cool to do with these guys. This would be a great kind of concept to put in motion. So kind of floated the idea to them and they were super excited about it. We got to work right away and kind of coming up with different ideas. And actually I do have the guitar. hanging out right here. And this was, I think this is still like the first made prototype.
Wow, that is
And
beautiful.
it's killer. It's really great. I mean, it's that double cutaway kind of thing, so
God, I love it that you went with the, Seymour Duncan mini hum in the neck.
yeah,
And and then what's the humbucker in the bridge? What did you choose?
yeah. So the humbucker, it's actually a 59,
Oh,
which is typically I know like a neck pickup. But the thing is, with like my 68 SG, it's super clear. Like the pickups are super low output. Like if you like with the pedal, like when you drive those pickups, it's like it doesn't really compress. It opens up more, which I love. So I'm like, okay, so it's kind of like going with the lower output pickup. You kind of get that kind of that bloom a little bit when you drive it up when you drive it. And then the Firebird pickup, or this one I guess is the Seymourized
mhm.
mini humbucker or Firebird pickup. Um, I think it's kind of described as like a little bit of a hotter Firebird pickup. But yeah, they work great together. That was kind of the other thing too. I'm like, how is this gonna go? Like, is this gonna work as a combo? Like, it seemed like it's like it seems like a cool idea, but is it like practical? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, how's this
Well,
gonna
how did it work out when you got the prototype and plugged it in?
it was awesome. I mean, I remember, Mike and Anthony were sending me texts, like, when they were jamming on the prototype, they're like, "This is really cool." Like, "Hey, this is working," like, they sent videos of them demoing it. Like, "Oh, sweet." I'm like, "I can't wait to try it out." So, it was perfect. When I was here in February, the guitar was finally done, and they shipped it on down to Nashville, so immediately, like, I could just start test driving it at all these different, venues and sitting in and all that. And it's been great. I immediately fell in love with it, like, especially through, like, a Fender amp. I mean,
Yeah.
the mini pickup, it's like, whew, it's
Well, now I've
beautiful.
gotta ask, once again, we're on Gear Gab.
Yeah.
What woods, what did you go with woods? What did you go with the machine heads? I mean, I can,
Yeah,
let's go into the deep end on
yeah,
this.
that's a good question. I can't remember what, uh what all the specs are with it. I think it's like some type of I think it's like a cherry. I should know all the specs with this. I know it's not like a typical, like, mahogany type
Okay.
thing. Um But it plays and sounds great. It's got a really unique kind of sweetness to it when you plug it in. Like, just the other day, I did kind of a recording session for, like a it's like a collaborative shred jam thing. And so I took it into a studio and recorded it with it kind of for the first time for this solo bit. And I had it through that Marshall. It'd been a minute since I gotten to like crank it and hear it sing. And I'm like, ooh, that's really sweet. Like that was really fun to kind of hear it.
Well, and I noticed that,
Mm.
all over town on your videos and everything too, Peter, you've been using your Soulfire guitar pretty much dominantly lately.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that's been a lot of fun too. Yeah, just, especially at the beginning, because it's like I hadn't really like, it's like, okay, how is it gonna like fit in with everything? Or like, I hadn't even really gotten to like crank it yet. So I'm like,
Right.
okay, this is like a first time, like heat of the moment, in a jam type thing. Um, and it sounded great. I think I took it to like Bourbon Street,
Yeah.
with Blues Jams there the
On the
Monday
on
night.
Printer's Alley.
Yes, yeah. And that it sounded fantastic. Like I said, that mini humbucker through a Fender amp, especially, it's like, wow. I was,
I love the mini hums, and a lot of people are not a fan of them for whatever reason, but I'm like you. It's like I've owned Firebirds, and I was a huge
yep,
fan of Johnny Winter.
yeah,
It's like certain places, a mini humbucker really does the job better.
yeah. And really, it was like I love like Strats and Tellys, but they're very. I don't know, like too used to kind of the Gibson, kind of how they feel in the hands type thing.
Mhm.
Um, and no hum as well. So it's like with the or, from the single coils. So it's like with the Firebird pickup, it's like if you roll down the volume, it kinda I mean, of course, nothing's gonna sound like a Strat or a Tele, but, like, it kinda gets you in that ballpark. It kinda conjures kinda puts you in that headspace a little bit. It's something a little bit different too, like, even when you drive it, like, I think of, like, Still Alive and Well or Rock Me Baby. It's kinda like
Yeah.
it's that kind of vibe, with Johnny. Yeah.
Well, and I wanted to bring up also, and I knew this from talking with your mom too, Peter, to where
Mm.
that not only are you putting together a new band, you're working on new original songs, you're going to have a new EP or album coming out probably this fall,
Yeah.
but also you had mentioned too that you're kind of working on session work. So
Mm.
you're starting to like do some sessions around town in Nashville and some of the studios. How's that coming together?
Well, I haven't really done any yet, but it's besides the one. But that was like a yeah, it was like a collaborative shred kind of jam. There was a guy, I might have to reach out to him again. Thanks for reminding me. But
Yeah.
there was a guy that had reached out in February about doing some work, and the studio looked awesome. I haven't been in like a big studio like that in a few years. So yeah, it'd be good to kind of get back out there and play again and kind of get refamiliar with the studio because it's been a minute since I've really like been in like a session. Yeah.
Well, and I'm sure as you know, to where a lot of the studios in Nashville are basically in houses.
Yes.
Like if you go over to like Berry Hill
Mhm.
and where all the fences are painted with all the stars and everything,
Yeah.
they look like little houses and they're not. Just like Muse and Bro. There's all these little tucked away studios that's like going, oh, I'm driving by a house.
No.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So it's fun when people like you and I get to walk in and go, oh my gosh, this is a full blown studio.
Yeah. Well, even like the guy that I went to when we kind of did the collaborative. Well, he lives. I think yeah, positive he lives there. But yeah, he kind of had a room set aside with like it was like a bathroom where he put probably bigger amps in and with padding and stuff and all that type of yeah.
Well, and that's what I was thinking for you, Peter. At some point, you may have to build out your own little mini studio. I know a lot of guitarists here that have the setup at home so that if somebody wants them to do tracks, they can essentially send the guitar tracks around the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not too good with like the technology with recording, but I know there's like I mean plugins aren't the same, and I definitely couldn't crank an amp in here. I
No,
definitely I'm trying to be friends with all the neighbors on this floor.
always a good idea. Always different. What I wanted to bring up also, talking about your music gear and your vast collection of guitars and the ones you brought to Nashville and certainly your amplifiers. But it seems like also you're using a lot of Diodario strings and other stuff too. It seems like that's kind of your wheelhouse as well.
I use, the Darios pretty much exclusively. It's the 10 to 46 XS, so they're, like, slightly coated, but it doesn't quite feel like it, so it's like the perfect in between, and they last forever, like, they don't really wear down that fast, and I think for some people, they're like, "Oh, they feel kinda strange," but I've used them for, like, quite a f like, years now, so I'm used to it and how they respond and play. They're great. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I agree with you. And I was going to bring up, now that you're kind of, embedding yourself in Music City here, you may have to pick up an acoustic guitar or something too. I mean, you've got all electrics.
Yeah, I did bring all electrics here, but actually at Carter's yesterday, I sat down with a Mule resonator. Um,
Love
and
those.
I loved it. Got loaned like a glass slide, and I sat down with it. That'll probably go up on Instagram today, probably. But I sat down with this resonator and just kind of started playing. I'm like, oh man, like an open G, and I'm just like, that's magic. I started playing the Stones Ventilator Blues. I played that riff on it, and I'm like, sounded just like the record. I'm like,
Mule does such a great job with those resonators. I've played several and it's like on, geez, I'm probably going to have one too.
and they're so unique too. I haven't really like sat down with one like maybe a couple times before, but this one I'm like, okay, I'm like, I really wanna like I feel like much more adequate as a slide player and I'm like, okay, let's sit down with this and really kind of hear it. And I'm like, wow. I'm just like, this is awesome. Yeah.
Well, and I've got to ask too, with your motivational speaking and with everything else you do, are you going to try and get out to some schools and stuff, here in Middle Tennessee? What are you thinking?
I'd like to. That would be really fun. Haven't really started looking yet. But yeah, I guess if people are interested, they can reach out and I mean, it could be like an Instagram DM or something, or like peaksdiary.com. There's all sorts of ways. Like, mom helps run the accounts as well. She also checks the messages and stuff and all that. So yeah, no, that would be good to get back to doing that because that is fun to do.
Well, I know it's near and dear to your heart, and also with the charities, just like with the Children's Craniofacial Association that you work with all over Peter.
Yep. Yeah. No, or Children's Craniofacial Association or CCA for short. It's really great. I guess kind of, with kind of like my condition and stuff. They're great charity because uh, how do I even describe it? It's like it's almost like a big family at this point. Like one of my favorite things that the organization does is at the end of June every year, there's basically a family retreat. It's a different location every year. But it's almost like a family reunion. I've been going to that since since I don't even know, like 2005. Um, so I've grown up with so many of these families. Basically, we all get together for like a weekend and just catch up, hang out, support. It's so cool because people like me, we can meet and kind of support each other if there's something medically going on or socially. You kind of let all that stuff go and just have fun and hang out. And parents can network as well. Especially if especially like now, one of my favorite things that's so cool about it is when you start meeting like new families and you get to kind of because a lot of the times it can, for some families, I know it can feel like isolating. You feel a bit alone. So it's like, seeing these parents come in with their kids and, they could start, asking questions and getting like good support from people that get it, like we've all been in the same boat, those type of stuff. It's great. And siblings as well. So it's just this great like connection. It's really amazing.
Well, and what does it feel like for you now, Peter, with, you've done a lot of great stuff with your music already, and I think it's the best is yet to come. But what does it feel like when some of these other kids and families and everything, you know, reach out to you and go, it's like, well, how, how have you overcome things? How has, with music and with guitar, what does that feel like for you when they bring that, when that conversation comes up?
It is pretty amazing. It's kind of hard to process in the moment. It's kind of like it's almost overwhelming. It's like you're of course grateful and it means a lot to hear that, but it's kind of like it's almost difficult to process in the moment. But it's very cool. A lot of gratitude. And I mean, I have gotten some DMs from, parents that do have kids, with golden heart or, some other condition. And they're like, my page is giving them hope because they see me play or, whether like on stage or whether with my speaking and stuff. And they reached out and said, you've really given me a lot of hope for my kid and, what he can achieve or she and all of that. And it's really cool. Like, yeah, that means a lot. It's
Well, and I'm going to bring up too, we were talking about Guitars for Vets and my coffee that is a partner with my show, the Acoustic Coffee Company. So I'm going to have to send you some coffee over, Peter. But this is CGP. This is Tommy Emmanuel's. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
a portion of this goes to Guitars for Vets. And so thanks to the Acoustic Coffee Company for being a part of Gear Gab. But I got to bring up to you now, not to put you on the spot, Peter, but with the new songs and the new music, what's kind of the vein of this before we're going to get to hear it later this year?
So let's see. One of the ideas we've been jamming, kind of in rehearsal, it's like a slide, kind of an open G thing, kind of real fast and rocking.
A
Uh,
mule guitar might help with that.
yeah, yeah, that would be, yeah, no, I mean, that would sound pretty ripping. Although what I was playing yesterday was a little bit more subdued, but it sounded killer. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what kind of that ends up being. But yeah, as of right now, this kind of jam that we've been doing, I've had this riff for a while that I love kind of just kind of messing around with. It's kind of this, yeah, cool, fast slide, open G thing. Um, so we've been fooling around with that and throwing it around. It's kind of been like just kind of the jamming stages. And like when we were auditioning drummer the other night, we just kind of, we've only had it like halfway done, like, kind of up to like a second chorus and like not sure what a solo section would be at. So it's kind of like we just kind of just like kept going for fun, like into the unknown. Like, okay, let's just keep it going, see like what kind of happens. So that's been like the jam, right
That is
now.
so awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear how all of the music is going to come together, with everything that you're doing. And I was thinking to myself too, Peter, it's like, it seems like it's going to be a matter of time before I see you on the Ryman stage and possibly, even if you sneak in like on the Grand Ole Opry or something.
That would be insane. I mean, those 2 venues especially are so, like especially, like, being in Nashville, they're sacred. I
Right.
mean, they're legendary. It's just like, yeah, to kind of if it ever happened to have that viewpoint and look out at the crowd from that stage, that would be pretty insane. Yeah.
I think it will. And once again, one of the things that brings me joy seeing and hearing you play is how happy you are while you're doing it. But also, and I said this at the beginning of the show, Peter, you are an excellent guitarist. I mean, how much do you play and practice per day to keep that level of skill up?
Well, right now it's been quite a few hours a day because I'm learning so many songs for Broadway. We're trying to put a band together for Broadway, kind of a Pete's Diary iteration for Broadway. So right now I have like a list of songs. It's been a Judas Priest morning. I've been brushing off Electric Eye. Yeah, so
Oh, I love that album. I mean, and I
yeah,
saw them in concert in Las Vegas, and I got to
yeah,
meet, Rob Halford and the whole band, he's like going it's like, "Oh my gosh." It's like that was from my high school days when Screaming for Vengeance came out. I've still got the album in the garage,
yeah, yeah.
and those are still great songs.
They are. Yeah. I mean, even like I could gush about like especially the last two Priest albums. Oh my God. And the tour as well, the original show tour that they just kind of did, or I don't know if it's wrapped up or what's kind of next, but it's like I mean, that's some of my favorite metal albums yet. Like they're on a really great roll right now. Yeah, I don't know when the next one's coming out, but it's yeah, whatever. I got the chance to kind of hang with two members while in Nashville, and yeah, it was great. We had like lunch at the Hard Rock, and we were kind of hanging out and talking. Now, like, I don't know what you guys have been doing the last two records, but like from the fans' perspective, like it's been killer. Like, please keep doing what you're doing. They thought it was funny. So
Sometimes,
yeah,
though, it's like, Peter, do you have to, like, almost pinch yourself and go, "Okay, I'm hanging out, having lunch with the band that I was just listening to in my bedroom."
yes, that's definitely yeah. There's definitely been a few of those moments where I'm like, how did I end up here? It's like I'd sit down with these two guys, and I'm just like, wow, you know.
I mean, you lead an amazing life. I mean, just with your music, with the guitar, with the motivational speaking and the charity work and everything, you know, it seems to me, Peter, that you use your gifts in very positive ways to not only enjoy yourself, but also to help others.
Yeah, and I think live music in general too, that's definitely the big thing. Like, I think that's why I love, like, AC/DC so much. Like, that is just a fun show. It's just a party from start to finish. It's like that's what I love doing on stage, making people smile, have fun, just have a good time, let loose. Yeah.
Does it feel weird to you now also that to where you're having to, like, sign autographs and stuff like that, Peter?
Okay, yeah, it's really funny. It's funny you bring that up. Last night, actually, Marty Schwartz, was at the Analog, for 10 years of Marty Music, and it was great. I sat in with, or not I didn't sit in, but, just kinda hung out, it's kinda up in, like, a balcony, just kinda watched, so it was
Yeah,
great,
the
like
great room, the analog room is so yeah, Marty Schwartz
yeah.
is incredible.
Yeah, and it was a great show. I mean, it was really fun, like, I saw, like, yeah, some really great players had said and that I kind of recognized a little bit or, has seen play around town. I'm like, "Oh, cool," "Oh, he's here." Yeah, It's fun, like, starting to recognize some people's faces and stuff. But, like, last night when I was leaving, said goodbye to Marty, but just kinda left and right, people started coming up to me, like, it took, like, 10 to 15 minutes to get out of there. I'm like, "Wow." Like, I was there with a friend last night, a friend of mine named Leo. It was just kinda funny. We just kept kinda getting stopped and having to, not having to, but I mean, it was fun to, like, shake hands and kind of hang out and talk with people for a minute, yeah.
Well, and also as a
Yeah.
musician and as an artist too, Peter, it's gotta make you feel good that what you're doing, people are enjoying and they recognize you for your music and what you accomplish.
It is, yeah, it is really cool. It's a pretty big honor. It's really cool. Or even, like, just, like, 2 days ago, I, like, live, like, right around the corner from the bank, and I was going to pick up a new debit card. And I'm like, "Okay, this should literally take 5 minutes, like, out the door, in the door, like, not take long at all." I spent, like it took it took 10 minutes because I spent half that time chatting with someone that recognized you, like, right outside the bank. It was just so funny. I'm like, "This is" and it's happened a few times, like, even, like, I'm kinda sad the dogs aren't here anymore. They had to go home yesterday back to Chicago, but, I'd walk the dog, and once, like, right after we got here, like, the first weekend, we're walking back up the street and a car comes by and a group of guys like hang their heads out the window like Pete as the car goes driving by. Like, what? Hey. And it happened on Mother's Day too. We were walking back to the condo from a Mother's Day brunch and or yeah, brunch and yeah, it happened again. This is kind of funny.
Well, I think it's gonna happen more and more, especially once you get the new band put together and get ready to release the new EP or album that you're working on. which is going to
Yeah.
be probably what, this fall, you're thinking?
Yeah, I hope so. That would be good to get the ball rolling on that as quickly as possible once everything's finalized. And I mean, it's been a fun experience, just kind of with a little bit of the writing we've done so far, and just kind of throwing things around. It'll be exciting to get that, like, start getting things like finalized and rolling. It'll be cool. But yeah, that'll definitely be worked on as soon as possible.
Well, I want to make sure for everyone, joining us on Gear Gab, whether on video or audio, for your website, for your social media, everything, Peter, where do they need to go so they can follow you, so they can check out the new band, the new music, they can see your signature model guitar, signature model pedal? Where do they need to go?
So all of that is at petesdiary.com. That's all the socials as well. I forget at this point which ones have like a dot or a dash between Pete's Diary, but it's Pete's Diary on all platforms. You'll see like the logo and the profile picture. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say, Peter, congratulations on moving here to Nashville, Tennessee. We're thrilled to have you here. I'm thrilled to see you playing, and like I said, I'm going to have to have you on the TV show and the Rock and Review when the new EP or album comes out with the new band. Okay,
Yeah, no, that would be a ton of fun. Yeah, it'd be good to hang with you in person.
we will do it. I get the feeling we're going to be at a guitar shop or something soon together, also.
Probably.
Well, I'll tell you what, Peter Dankelson, thank you so much for coming on Gear Gab. Congratulations on everything. And I think this is going to be a big year for you, my friend.
I think so too. No, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks for joining the Gear Gab podcast with Eric Dahl. Subscribe to our weekly conversations on your favorite platform. And if you like what you hear, don't forget to leave us a review. Follow us on social media at Gear Gab Podcast. You'll never know who our next guests will be.